100 Reasons Why You Lose Friends When You Level Up. Welcome to Love Lux Amore, where we talk about self-development and fulfilling our dreams. I'm so excited that you've decided to spend some time here today because we have a really meaningful topic in store. We're going to talk about the 100 reasons why you lose friends when you level up. Now, if you've ever started making positive changes in your life, focusing on self-improvement, setting bigger goals, or simply deciding to prioritize your peace, you may have noticed that not everyone in your friend group responds with open arms. Sometimes they drift away, sometimes there's tension, and sometimes you're left questioning what exactly happened. Well, this video is all about shedding light on those changes, validating your experience, and ultimately helping you navigate this shift with grace and confidence. Before we jump into the specifics, I want to remind you to please hit that like button, drop a comment below letting me know which insights resonate with you, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribing is the best way to ensure you never miss out on our new content designed to empower you, keep you motivated, and guide you in living your best life. We're building a supportive community here, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. So go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, share it with anyone who might find it helpful, and click that bell notification to stay updated on our future topics. Now, I also have something special to share with you. If you're on the road to self-improvement, tools such as vision boards, goal setting, and affirmations can be incredibly powerful tools to keep you on track. Over at loveluxamore.com, I offer a range of digital products and services specifically crafted to make your journey smoother and more uplifting. If you've ever felt stuck, uninspired, or just in need of a bigger push, you might want to check out our vision board analysis, which helps you clarify what you truly desire and how to manifest it. We also provide tailored goal-setting sessions to map out your short and long-term objectives in a way that feels both ambitious and achievable. Plus, I create custom affirmations personally designed for you, so you can reinforce a mindset that's aligned with your highest potential every single day. You might be thinking, why is all this relevant? Because when we're talking about leveling up, improving your life, chasing bigger dreams, getting healthier, or redefining your boundaries, these are the exact areas where we need the most consistent support. Having the right tools in your corner can be a total game changer, turning a lonely or confusing growth phase into an exciting personal adventure. So if you're intrigued by the idea of a detailed vision board analysis or want to kickstart your goal-setting process, head over to loveluxamore.com. Your next breakthrough might be just a click away. Alright, with that said, let's dive into the main event, the 100 reasons why you lose friends when you level up. It might sound a little daunting, but trust me, we'll break it all down step by step, reason by reason, and by the end of this video, you'll have a brand new perspective on why friend circles shift as we grow. 100 Reasons Why You Lose Friends When You Level Up. 1. You start setting higher standards for yourself and how you want others to treat you. Suddenly, the jokes or snide comments you used to let slide no longer feel acceptable, and you call people out when they cross your boundaries. Friends who are accustomed to the old you might feel uneasy with your newfound firmness. As a result, they may distance themselves instead of rising to meet your upgraded expectations. 2. Your goals begin to shift toward bigger, more ambitious dreams, and that can make people uncomfortable if they don't share that vision. While you once bonded over weekend parties or late-night gossip, you now invest your time into skill development, exercise routines, or side hustles. This change in priorities can feel like a betrayal to those who want to cling to old habits. Eventually, they may fade away because they believe you've outgrown them, even if you still cherish the friendship. 3. You start to see time as a precious asset that you want to use wisely for self-improvement. Instead of binging on TV shows or attending every social event, you might choose to read personal development books, take online courses, or network with like-minded individuals. Friends who used to relish your constant availability may feel rejected when you decline their invitations. Over time, this can create tension and lead them to withdraw if they're unwilling to adapt to your new schedule. 4. Better communication skills come with your personal growth, and you learn to articulate what you really feel. That might mean speaking up in situations you previously tolerated, addressing passive-aggressive remarks, or setting firm limits around your emotional energy. People who were used to you being passive or agreeable might interpret this as you being confrontational. In truth, you're simply practicing healthy self-expression, but that can be off-putting to those who prefer the old dynamic. 5. Self-awareness blossoms as you start reflecting on your behaviors and triggers. With this newfound insight, you notice toxic or draining patterns in certain friendships and feel compelled to address them. Sometimes, instead of resolving these patterns, friends may shut down or ghost you because they don't want to face their own role in the negativity. This departure is less about you and more about their discomfort with growth and introspection. 6. Your success or steady progress can highlight other people's stagnation, even if you never rub it in their faces. You might get a better job, lose weight, or start achieving big milestones, and that can trigger insecurities in those who feel stuck. Although you want to inspire them, they might perceive your achievements as a reminder of their own inaction or missed opportunities. Feeling inadequate, they might retreat from the friendship to avoid these constant reminders of what they aren't doing. 7. You begin to ditch harmful or childish habits, which can include gossip, excessive partying, or complaining about trivial matters. If certain friendships were built around sharing negative stories or indulging in self-destructive behavior, those connections may weaken once you focus on healthier pastimes. Friends who are still comforted by negativity might label you as too positive or boring. Unable to sustain the same old dynamic, they quietly slip away. 8. As your self-confidence grows, you'll naturally attract new people who match your energy and aspirations. This could be mentors, fellow entrepreneurs, or fitness buddies who encourage and challenge you to keep leveling up. Older friends might feel replaced or left behind, especially if they don't share the same drive. Instead of celebrating your social expansion, they might respond with jealousy or resentment, causing a rift in the relationship. 9. You become more vigilant about personal boundaries, whether it's emotional availability or financial generosity. In the past, you might have lent money without question or played therapist at all hours of the night. Now that you know the importance of self-care and balanced relationships, you say no more often. People who thrived on your unlimited resources might see this as selfish and choose to walk away, unwilling to respect your new boundaries. 10. Your schedule grows more demanding because you're actively prioritizing personal growth, passion projects, and wellness routines. What once was a free Saturday for lounging around or partying now becomes a day packed with learning or goal-oriented activities. Your friends might miss the old spontaneous you, who was always available for last-minute plans. Frustrated by your unavailability, they might accuse you of being distant or stuck up, then slowly drift apart. 11. You become picky about where you get your advice or motivation. In the past, you might have vented to a friend who wasn't necessarily qualified to guide you, but now you seek professional counsel, read expert books, or listen to specialists. Friends who were used to being your go-to source of support might feel displaced or ignored. Over time, this perceived rejection can sour the relationship, even if you never intended any slight. 12. The activities that once excited you no longer hold the same appeal. Maybe you grew tired of late nights at clubs or endless gaming sessions, preferring instead to learn guitar or train for a marathon. This change can baffle friends who still enjoy those old routines and want to share them with you. The growing gap in leisure interests can create distance, as each of you looks for people who share your favorite pastimes. 13. You start discussing bigger dreams and speaking about possibilities that surpass old limitations. Instead of saying, "I wish," you begin saying, "I will," and that kind of confidence can make some people feel inadequate. When you talk about launching your own business or traveling the world, it highlights their own fears or complacency. Uncomfortable with that feeling, some friends might withdraw to avoid facing their own lack of ambition. 14. You stop offering constant emotional rescue missions because you recognize it's enabling, not helping. While you still care about your friends, you encourage them to seek solutions, therapy, or self-help instead of simply dumping all their problems on you. Friends who relied on you as a never-ending source of comfort may feel abandoned when you dial back your caregiving. In reality, you're learning healthy interdependence, but they might interpret it as you not being there for them anymore. 15. A newfound interest in physical health often accompanies personal development, so you might start working out regularly or paying attention to your diet. Friends who are not ready to make those changes can feel silently judged when they see you skipping junk food or hitting the gym at 6 a.m. They might call you obsessed or no fun, even though you'd love for them to join you. Instead of adapting, some distance themselves to avoid feeling pressure or comparison. 16. Relocation or environmental change can be a side effect of leveling up, whether that's moving closer to a new job or seeking better opportunities elsewhere. Physical distance makes it harder to maintain close bonds, especially if the friendship wasn't deeply rooted. You might have the best intentions of staying in touch, but messages and calls become less frequent. Slowly, those ties can fade if neither party invests effort into bridging the gap. 17. Your conversations shift toward purposeful topics like the last business seminar you attended, the new skill you're acquiring, or the personal breakthroughs you've had. If your friends are still engaged in surface-level chatter or prefer gossip, they might find your updates boring or pretentious. You might try to find common ground, but the depth of your new interests leaves them feeling out of their comfort zone. Over time, they could lose interest in maintaining the connection. 18. You place a higher premium on protecting your mental and emotional space. If your old group frequently indulged in gossip or negativity, you try to steer clear of such discussions now. Friends may accuse you of being judgmental or acting superior, though you're simply trying to keep your mindset positive. Feeling unwanted or criticized, they might minimize contact to avoid confrontation. 19. You start standing firm in your capabilities, showing more self-belief, and that can be mistaken for arrogance by those unaccustomed to your confidence. While you see it as embracing your worth, they might claim you're acting like you're better than everyone else. The truth is you've worked hard to overcome limiting beliefs, but not everyone appreciates that transformation. Unable to align with your new self-assuredness, they may let the friendship wane. 20. Personal growth activities become a staple in your life, ranging from meditation and self-help reading to journaling and coaching sessions. You choose these pursuits over nights out or hours of mindless scrolling, which means less time for casual hangouts. Friends might roll their eyes, seeing your journey as excessive or strange. In the end, the gap in how you spend your free time can become too wide to bridge. 21. Your progress unintentionally acts as a mirror, showing others what they could achieve if they stepped out of their comfort zones. This can spark inspiration in some, but it can also create resentment in those who aren't ready to make changes. They might label you as lucky or overambitious to downplay their own insecurities. Eventually, this tension can erode the friendship if they resent you more than they're willing to be inspired by you. 22. As you ascend in your personal and professional life, you'll naturally connect with mentors, industry experts, or equally driven peers. This expansion can eat into the time you once spent with your old circle. Some friends may feel you're replacing them with more useful connections, even if you genuinely want to maintain both sets of friendships. Hurt by your newly divided attention, they might pull away or harbor hidden jealousy. 23. Your shift from complaining to taking action can disrupt friendships anchored in mutual commiseration. Perhaps you used to vent about your boss or your finances without ever seeking solutions, but now you're proactive and solution-oriented. This can leave your old friends feeling unsupported in their venting cycles if you encourage them to find answers rather than just nodding along. Over time, they may see your positivity as dismissive and drift toward people who validate their complaints. 24. You become more direct and open to resolving conflict rather than letting it fester. When misunderstandings arise, you calmly suggest honest conversations or mediation, which some friends might find unnerving. They could perceive your new approach as overly serious or confrontational, even though you're simply trying to foster healthier communication. Overwhelmed by the transparency you bring, they may avoid you to escape accountability. 25. You view relationships as two-way streets, expecting some reciprocity in terms of effort and emotional support. Before, you might have been the one always calling, texting first, or planning gatherings. Now, you wonder if your friends will match your initiatives, and if they don't, you gradually stop overextending yourself. Those who took your efforts for granted might feel slighted and quietly exit once they realize you're no longer carrying all the weight. 26. Saying no grows easier because you've learned to protect your time and mental health. This can shock friends who are used to you agreeing to every favor, whether it's helping them move or covering a shift at work. They might accuse you of becoming selfish or distant when you set these limits. Unwilling to adapt to your new stance, they slowly recede from your life. 27. Financial responsibility becomes a priority as you budget, invest, or save for long-term goals. You might decline expensive outings or spontaneous shopping trips to keep your money aligned with your future plans. Friends might call you cheap or less fun now, feeling judged or inconvenienced by your new financial discipline. Over time, the tension around spending habits can lead to broken bonds. 28. Achievements like promotions, awards, or personal milestones can alter how people perceive you. Some friends might feel overshadowed or assume you've become unrelatable, even if you've tried to stay humble. Their insecurity, not your success, can create a chasm in the friendship. Instead of celebrating with you, they grow resentful and find reasons to limit contact. 29. You unlearn limiting beliefs, trading I can't for I can and I will, and not everyone is comfortable with that level of possibility. Friends who still see the world through a lens of scarcity might find your optimism naive or irritating. Rather than challenge their own beliefs, they might withdraw to remain in their comfort zone. This gap in perspectives can be too large to overcome, leading to mutual disengagement. 30. You clarify what types of behaviors you're unwilling to tolerate, whether it's constant negativity, manipulation, or disrespect. As soon as a friend crosses that line, you address it directly instead of ignoring the issue. They might be taken aback by your forthrightness, accusing you of being harsh. If they're not ready to adjust, they might distance themselves or cut ties to avoid confrontation. 31. Networking and professional development events become your new playgrounds as you seek fresh opportunities. While your friends might still prefer casual dinners or nightlife, you invest your evenings in workshops, seminars, or online forums. This can lead to accusations that you're prioritizing strangers over lifelong buddies. Tensions arise if they don't understand the value you place on building these future-focused connections. 32. Small talk loses its appeal, and you start craving deeper conversations about life, purpose, and personal evolution. Lighthearted fun is still nice, but you also want to discuss meaningful topics that fuel growth. Friends who find these subjects heavy or self-indulgent might think you've become preachy. Uncomfortable with the depth you now seek, they may decide the friendship no longer serves them. 33. You absorb new ideas through books, courses, and podcasts, which expands your worldview and alters your perspective. You might excitedly share these revelations, hoping to spark engaging discussions. However, friends who prefer familiar routines could feel alienated by your forward-thinking mindset. Eventually, the disconnect can become too wide, and they may leave you in favor of people who share their older viewpoints. 34. A disciplined schedule might have you up at dawn for a workout or turning in early to ensure proper rest. This clashes with friends who rely on late-night calls or spontaneous meetups for bonding. They may claim you've become rigid or are missing out on fun. Over time, they could tire of accommodating your strict routines and fade out of your life. 35. You focus on gratitude as a daily practice, which makes negativity and endless complaining more difficult to tolerate. Your friends might interpret your insistence on seeing the bright side as dismissive of their problems. They may say you're out of touch or not empathetic enough, even though you're simply maintaining a healthy outlook. Feeling unsupported in their venting, they might choose to find company that indulges their complaints without encouraging solutions. 36. You're more mindful about what you watch, read, and listen to, opting for uplifting content over sensationalized drama. Friends who love reality shows or scandal-driven media might feel judged when you're no longer interested in discussing them. They could mock your new preferences as snobby or boring. This cultural gap in media consumption sometimes grows large enough to fracture the friendship. 37. Personal responsibility becomes a core value, and you hold yourself accountable for failures and setbacks. Rather than blaming parents, bosses, or circumstances, you look at what you can change within yourself. Friends who still blame the world for their troubles might see your attitude as unsympathetic. Offended by the mirror your approach holds up to them, they might retreat. 38. New hobbies like painting, learning a new language, or blogging can consume the hours you once spent casually socializing. You pour your heart into these creative or developmental pursuits, which leaves less room for spontaneous get-togethers. Friends might see it as you hiding away or becoming a workaholic. Unable to share in your passions, they could wander off in search of more available companions. 39. Mental health improvements often accompany personal growth, so you might attend therapy or actively practice mindfulness. This internal work helps you heal old wounds, making you less tolerant of chaotic or dramatic friendships. While setting these healthier boundaries, friends might think you've grown cold or distant. In reality, you're protecting your peace, and those who aren't ready for stable relationships might walk away. 40. You become quick to spot red flags in others' behavior, whether it's manipulative tendencies or consistent lying. Before, you might have brushed such issues off, but now you address them or step away when they appear. Friends who benefited from your old ignorance might feel threatened by your new discernment. Realizing they can no longer manipulate you, they quietly vanish from your life. 41. People start looking to you as a role model or someone who has it all figured out, which can create awkward power dynamics. Friends who once saw themselves as equal or more advanced might struggle with your new status. They might say you're acting superior, even if you're not trying to be. Afraid they no longer match your energy, they might keep their distance. 42. What you define as fun evolves from the typical nightlife or shopping sprees to experiences that align with personal growth. You might prefer retreats, nature hikes, or thought-provoking workshops that nourish your soul. Friends who revel in more traditional pastimes could see you as a buzzkill. Lacking shared interests, the bond weakens, and the friendship may fizzle out. 43. A big-picture mentality develops, guiding you to focus on long-term goals like financial freedom or meaningful career advancement. The day-to-day dramas that used to dominate your conversations now feel small and unproductive. Friends who still obsess over every slight inconvenience might find you insensitive or detached. Over time, you naturally drift apart because your priorities lie on different planes. 44. You stop being everyone's go-to fixer, shouldering the weight of their issues and dilemmas. Instead, you encourage them to find solutions or seek professional help. That level of self-preservation can feel like a betrayal to friends who relied on your emotional labor. When they realize you won't keep rescuing them, some choose to detach rather than adapt. 45. Consistency becomes your middle name as you show up on time, keep your promises, and maintain healthy habits. While you'd think that trait would inspire admiration, it can actually highlight other people's unreliability. They might bristle when they see you following through and might accuse you of being too rigid. Feeling exposed in their own inconsistency, they drift away to avoid that uncomfortable comparison. 46. You discovered that some friendships were situational or convenience-based, perhaps coworkers you only spoke to at the office or neighbors you only saw on weekends. When you move jobs or cities, the foundation of those relationships crumbles. As you level up, you also realize you crave deeper connections than what these superficial ties offer. Without the shared routine, those casual friendships quietly disintegrate. 47. You refuse to shrink your ambitions to placate others who are uncomfortable with big dreams. Before, you might have downplayed successes or pretended your goals were smaller to fit in. Now, you openly celebrate your achievements and aim even higher, which can be intimidating to those with more modest aspirations. Unable to handle your unapologetic ambition, they step back from the friendship. 48. You cultivate resilience, so the old tactics people used to manipulate or guilt trip you no longer work. If a friend tries to stir drama or make you feel bad, you maintain your composure and address the situation head-on. That lack of reaction can irritate those who thrive on pushing your buttons. Feeling powerless, they may decide to exit rather than respect your new emotional maturity. 49. Your spiritual or philosophical beliefs might shift dramatically. Maybe you adopt meditation, explore a new faith, or become more mindful of universal principles. Friends who stay rooted in old dogmas can find your perspective strange or threatening. They might fear you'll judge them for not growing alongside you. Unwilling to question their views, they take the path of least resistance and move away. 50. Bold leaps like changing careers, traveling solo, or returning to school require courage and shake up your old status quo. Friends who were comfortable seeing you in a familiar role might feel unnerved by such drastic changes. They might question their own life choices when they see you forging ahead. Instead of facing their regrets, they might choose to step out of the picture. 51. You start curating your social circle with intention, deciding who genuinely supports your growth. Gone are the days of hanging around anyone just because you've known them for years. You make space for new connections that spur you forward. Old friends might notice they're lower on your priority list and resent that shift, causing them to fade out. 52. Emotional intelligence grows, allowing you to spot unhealthy cycles like codependency, martyrdom, or narcissism. You might bring these issues up gently, hoping for mutual growth, but some people don't want to hear it. They feel attacked or judged rather than guided. Consequently, they retreat from your orbit to avoid shining a light on their unhealed wounds. 53. You own your shortcomings and mistakes openly, which disarms those who used to weaponize them against you. By saying, "Yes, I messed up, and I'm working on it," you remove the power of shame or guilt. Some friends who relied on those tactics to control you might be left feeling impotent. Seeing they can no longer manipulate you, they ease out of your life. 54. Building discipline in one arena, like fitness or budgeting, often spills over into other parts of life. This consistent self-control can make friends feel guilty about their own lack of discipline. They might sarcastically call you a health nut or a penny pincher to mask their envy or discomfort. Refusing to accommodate your new structured lifestyle, they might drift away toward easier companionship. 55. You learn to be content on your own, appreciating solitude for reflection and personal projects. This self-reliance is powerful, but it can threaten friends who expect you to need them for validation or constant companionship. Suddenly, you don't scramble for their attention, and they might interpret that as rejection. Feeling unneeded, they could walk away even if you still value their company, just on healthier terms. 56. Some people favored the older version of you who was more complacent or agreeable. When they realize you have a voice and won't be molded as easily, they lose interest. What they saw as your chill nature was sometimes just you not asserting yourself. Now that you do, they're no longer comfortable or in control. 57. You begin to aim higher and set more ambitious goals for yourself, which requires unwavering self-confidence. However, some friends might subtly plant seeds of self-doubt by questioning your abilities or the feasibility of your ambitions. This can cause you to second-guess your capabilities and undermines your determination, especially when you need to stay focused. If these doubts persist, you might distance yourself from these friends in search of a more supportive environment. 58. You specifically seek out communities or influencers that encourage continuous improvement. This inspires you to speak about big ideas and dream outside conventional limits. Friends who don't value growth might find this dialogue exhausting or pretentious. Failing to share your excitement, they might distance themselves in favor of simpler, more familiar conversations. 59. Concepts like the law of attraction or mindset shifts might become a daily practice in your life. You start shaping your thoughts and words carefully, aiming to maintain a high vibration environment. Friends stuck in a negative spiral might call you naive or dismiss your positivity as unrealistic. The difference in energy eventually pulls you apart, as neither side feels truly heard. 60. You realize personal development is sometimes a solo journey, requiring private introspection and less socializing. This can mean turning down invitations to work on yourself, do journaling, or study. Friends who see social time as the ultimate priority might feel offended by your repeated refusals. Over time, they label you as distant or self-absorbed, and the bond can weaken beyond repair. 61. Reassessing what friendship means to you leads to the conclusion that it should be loving, respectful, and mutually supportive. You realize that some connections are draining, riddled with backhanded compliments or one-sided efforts. Deciding that life is too short for such dynamics, you might gently or firmly exit those friendships. In turn, friends who aren't ready for mutual respect might see your stance as overly harsh and walk away first. 62. As you strive to evolve and improve, certain friends might highlight and exaggerate your past mistakes and faults, suggesting that you haven't really changed. This tactic is often used to anchor you to your past self and prevent you from moving forward. It can alienate mutual friends and acquaintances, casting doubts about your reliability and growth. Over time, this can lead you to sever ties with those who refuse to acknowledge your evolution. 63. When you start investing more time in personal development and less in socializing, some friends might reminisce about the good old days. They use nostalgia as a weapon, attempting to guilt you into neglecting your growth to return to past behaviors. This emotional manipulation can create turmoil, forcing you to choose between old friendships and new paths. Ultimately, this could lead to a gradual withdrawal from relationships that feel emotionally manipulative. 64. Confronting and healing past wounds frees you from enabling or seeking drama. If a friend thrives on chaos or attention-seeking behavior, your calm stance might leave them dissatisfied. They want the old version of you who might have engaged in heated arguments or meltdown moments. Seeing that you're now centered and less reactive, they may find it dull and step away. 65. During significant milestones or challenges, you might find that certain friends withhold their support or become conspicuously absent. This lack of support can make you feel isolated and undervalued, questioning the strength and sincerity of these friendships. Such behavior highlights their resentment towards your success and can deepen the divide between your paths. In time, you might seek out new connections that offer the encouragement and support you deserve. 66. As you adopt new habits or explore different interests, some friends might resort to making jokes at your expense during social gatherings or online. This public mockery can undermine your confidence and trivialize your efforts, making it challenging to stay committed to your growth. The embarrassment and hurt caused by these actions can compel you to pull away from these friends in search of a more respectful circle. Over time, friendships based on mutual respect and encouragement may replace those characterized by ridicule. 67. You drop self-deprecating humor or negative banter about yourself because you've learned the power of words. Complimenting yourself or stating your worth can shock friends used to bonding over low self-esteem jokes. They may claim you've lost your sense of humor or become too serious. In reality, you're simply done undermining yourself, and they might not accept that transformation. 68. Some friendships are rooted in shared trauma, with conversations revolving around your mutual hardships. As you heal and move toward a more forward-looking perspective, you no longer dwell on the pain. They might feel you're leaving them behind in that dark space they still occupy. With no new foundation to stand on, the friendship can dissolve, leaving both parties uncertain of how to reconnect. 69. When you begin to make noticeable progress, some might question the sincerity of your motives, suggesting your actions are driven by selfishness or a desire for attention. This can tarnish your image and sow seeds of doubt among your wider circle, complicating your relationships and social dynamics. Such tactics are harmful, creating a cloud of suspicion that might isolate you from potential allies. As a result, you might find yourself gravitating towards people who genuinely understand and support your intentions. 70. Opportunities come your way as you advance, whether it's a promotion, a scholarship, or creative collaborations. This new busyness might reduce the free time you have for long hangouts or endless text chats. Friends may perceive your packed schedule as proof you've changed your priorities. If they can't adapt, they might slip away, blaming you for not making time for them. 71. You emphasize self-accountability, holding not just yourself but also those close to you to higher standards. When a friend constantly deflects blame, you might point out how they can take control of their situation. They can find this unsolicited honesty uncomfortable or even feel attacked. Angered by your insistence on personal responsibility, they might step away to avoid the mirror you hold up. 72. You reduce engagement in social media drama, no longer commenting on petty fights or reacting to passive-aggressive posts. This quieter digital presence can be read as you distancing yourself or acting aloof. Friends who live for online conflicts might call you out for not taking sides or staying neutral. Hurt or offended by your refusal to engage, they might gradually freeze you out. 73. As you dedicate more time to your personal development, certain friends might continuously bring up new dramas, seeking to monopolize your time and energy. This tactic can drain your resources and divert your focus from your own goals, effectively sabotaging your progress. The constant emotional overwhelm can become unsustainable, prompting you to seek tranquility and stability away from those who generate chaos. This shift often leads to distancing from friends who thrive on drama. 74. You refine your language, avoiding hurtful or crass expressions, and encourage more positive or constructive speech. Friends who still enjoy shock value or offensive humor could feel policed or judged when you gently request they tone it down. They might say you're hypersensitive, claiming you've lost your edge. In an effort to keep their conversations unfiltered, they might find new circles that align with their style. 75. You learn that not everyone will celebrate your wins wholeheartedly, and you watch carefully who truly claps for you. Genuine supporters will cheer you on, but some might downplay your accomplishments to protect their egos. You see how forced smiles or lukewarm congratulations reveal hidden jealousy. Sensing their lack of authenticity, you might maintain distance, and they respond by opting out of the friendship altogether. 76. In professional or creative collaborations, some friends might sabotage or purposely fail to meet their responsibilities or actively stall progress out of envy or insecurity. This not only jeopardizes the projects but also reflects poorly on your professional reputation. Such betrayals can lead to a breakdown of trust and professional respect, pushing you to end partnerships with those who cannot celebrate or contribute to mutual success. Moving forward, you may choose collaborators who share your commitment and work ethic. 77. Challenging negative beliefs around money, career, or relationships can make you speak openly about abundance or positivity. Friends still trapped in scarcity mindsets might think you're naive or unrealistic when you talk about your limitless potential. Instead of expanding their viewpoint, they might label you as delusional and create distance. Feeling judged for your optimism, you also withdraw, widening the gap further. 78. As you achieve new levels of success, some might attempt to discredit these accomplishments by attributing them to luck or undue advantages. This behavior seeks to devalue your hard work and dedication, potentially affecting how others view your achievements. It can be particularly damaging in professional circles where credibility matters. Such actions often force you to cut ties with those who undermine your successes in favor of relationships that build you up. 79. Being aware that you are the sum of the 5 people closest to you, you intentionally choose friends who uplift and motivate you. This approach might mean spending more time with successful entrepreneurs, thoughtful creatives, or spiritual mentors. Your old circle could resent being replaced or see it as a statement that they're not good enough. Even though you still care about them, your need for alignment with your goals can push them away. 80. A generous heart leads you to volunteer, donate, or mentor others, often fueling your sense of purpose. While you see it as giving back, friends might accuse you of showing off or adopting a savior complex. They could interpret your philanthropic choices as moral grandstanding, feeling secretly judged. Resentful of your good deeds, they might opt to exit the relationship instead of exploring their own capacity for giving. 81. Seeking balance in life becomes essential, so you prioritize sleep, family time, and mental health. If your friends are used to spontaneous late-night hangouts, they might complain you've become too regimented. They might not realize you're simply implementing boundaries to sustain a healthier lifestyle. Feeling shut out of your routine, they might quietly disappear to find more readily available companions. 82. As you level up, the privacy of your conversations and personal information becomes paramount. However, friends who share private details without your consent betray your trust and expose you to potential harm or embarrassment. This violation can severely damage relationships, especially if used to manipulate or control you. Over time, you might find yourself distancing from those who do not respect your boundaries, seeking out individuals who value and protect your privacy. 83. Standing up for others and calling out injustices becomes part of your moral code as you grow. If your friends prefer to stay silent or maintain the status quo, they could see you as overly dramatic or disruptive. They may fear you'll stir up trouble in social situations they want to keep peaceful, even if that peace is superficial. Feeling embarrassed or threatened, they might keep their distance. 84. As you develop personally and perhaps even financially, you might find yourself more capable and willing to help others. Some friends might exploit this generosity, expecting constant support without reciprocation or acknowledging your kindness. This one-sided dynamic can become draining, leading you to reevaluate these relationships and potentially distance yourself from friends who view your generosity as an entitlement rather than a gift. Ultimately, you might seek out more balanced relationships where generosity is both given and received. 85. Investing in coaching, therapy, or seminars can take a toll on your finances but rewards you with emotional breakthroughs. Friends might criticize you for spending money on self-help stuff instead of entertainment or luxuries. They might tease you about wasting resources, making you feel alienated from their carefree spending habits. Over time, that ridicule can breed resentment, and you choose to limit your time with them. 86. In an attempt to keep you within their comfort zone, some friends might subtly undermine your self-esteem. They could downplay your achievements or highlight your insecurities under the guise of humor or keeping it real. This constant negativity can erode your self-confidence and make you question your worth, which is counterproductive to personal growth. As you recognize these patterns, you may begin to distance yourself from these friends in favor of relationships that build you up rather than tear you down. 87. You bravely step into projects or adventures that used to intimidate you, such as public speaking or launching a YouTube channel. This fearlessness can highlight the risk aversion of those around you. Instead of trying their own leaps, they might downplay your courage or even discourage you to keep you in the same bracket. When they see you persisting anyway, they might pull away, anxious that your success exposes their own reluctance to evolve. 88. As you invest in your personal development, you may discover that some friends are not interested in their own growth, leading to a mismatch in priorities and values. This lack of reciprocal growth can make your interactions feel increasingly unbalanced, where you are no longer fulfilling each other's needs or contributing positively to each other's lives. Over time, the divergence in personal evolution can lead you to seek out new friendships with individuals who are also committed to personal improvement and can mutually enrich your life experiences. 89. In a professional or creative context, friends who feel competitive might withhold information or opportunities that could benefit you. They may fear that your success could overshadow theirs or feel that your advancement might jeopardize their standing. This deliberate withholding can stifle your professional growth and strain your friendship, as it reveals a lack of mutual support. Recognizing these actions can lead you to cultivate a network that is more collaborative and supportive, aligning better with your values of openness and mutual upliftment. 90. Letting go of grudges becomes a crucial step in your emotional maturity. Old friends might have bonded with you over shared resentments, expecting that you'll always hold the same anger. When you forgive or move on, it can feel like you're betraying the pact you had to dislike certain people or relive old dramas. Unwilling to lose that common bond, they drift away, seeking others who'll keep the grudges alive. 91. Unfortunately, some friends may secretly revel in your setbacks, instead of offering sympathy or support. This schadenfreude can manifest in passive-aggressive comments or a noticeable lack of empathy during tough times. Observing this behavior can be disheartening and is often a clear indicator that the friendship is not grounded in genuine goodwill. As you progress, you may decide to distance yourself from those who cannot sincerely share in both your successes and your challenges. 92. Cleaning up your social media by muting or unfollowing negative influences can include some old acquaintances. They might discover you're no longer actively liking or commenting on their posts, interpreting it as a personal attack. Hurt or annoyed, they could reciprocate by ghosting you in real life. This digital rift sometimes magnifies underlying tensions, pushing the friendship to a breaking point. 93. Continuous learning becomes a lifestyle, so you enroll in courses, attend webinars, and read voraciously to expand your knowledge. Friends who dislike education might roll their eyes at your thirst for improvement, perceiving it as arrogant or unnecessary. You try to share interesting insights with them, but they shrug it off. Feeling unsupported, you might naturally shift attention to those who encourage or share your passion. 94. You respond calmly to provocations instead of getting sucked into drama. This newfound emotional control deprives those who enjoy a good confrontation of the reactions they crave. Seeing they can't rile you up, they might claim you're disconnected or that you don't care. Unable to push your buttons, they gradually leave for someone more reactive. 95. You reject the narrative that success must be accompanied by perpetual misery or burnout. Instead, you find joy in setting goals, working diligently, and still making time to recharge. Friends who complain that achieving anything is too hard might see you as naive. Unwilling to accept that success can be harmonious, they step away rather than adjust their beliefs. 96. Shedding former labels, like the shy guy or the wild party girl, can confuse friends who built your identity around those traits. You prove you're much more complex and can't be confined to a single characterization. This forces them to reevaluate what they know about you, which can feel uncomfortable. Unable to adapt to your multifaceted growth, they might prefer to remember you as you were. 97. Realizing your worth, you no longer seek validation through external praise or the approval of others. Friends who thrived on you needing them might interpret your independence as disinterest in their opinions. They might complain that you're self-centered now, even though you simply learned to value your own voice. Feeling unneeded, they might drop off, looking for someone else to affirm their influence. 98. You set tangible goals with deadlines and take intentional steps to reach them. Friends who float through life without plans can label you as overly structured or too intense. Despite your attempts to explain how deadlines motivate you, they might see it as you being inflexible. Over time, they step away, seeking folks who embrace a more spontaneous, unplanned life. 99. You refuse to entertain people who mock or belittle your aspirations. Instead of laughing off their sarcasm, you might call them out or calmly walk away. Friends accustomed to making light of your dreams may feel you're too serious now. Unwilling to respect your boundaries, they fade from your life, leaving room for supporters who genuinely champion your goals. 100. Ultimately, you believe in your power to create the life you want, which means you keep striving, no matter the obstacles. This unwavering conviction can inspire some people, while unsettling others who see it as delusional or prideful. They might leave because it's easier to part ways than challenge their own limitations. In the end, your relentless commitment to self-betterment can be the very thing that weeds out connections that were never meant to last. What an incredible journey we've just been on, exploring the 100 reasons why friendships can fall apart when you decide to level up. I hope you found at least a few insights that resonate deeply with you. Maybe you've realized that some relationships fade away not because you did anything wrong, but simply because you and your friends no longer share the same outlook or priorities. It's important to remember that personal growth isn't about leaving people behind, rather, it's about evolving in such a way that some connections naturally shift, change, or even end. And sometimes, as painful as it can be, this clearing of space opens the door for new and more aligned friendships to enter your life. Now, if this resonates with you and you want to keep the momentum going on your personal development journey, don't forget to check out loveluxamore.com. This is where you'll find all the digital products and services that can really help you thrive. Maybe you want a personalized vision board analysis to ensure the images and words on your board actually reflect your deepest desires, or perhaps a goal-setting session to strategize your next moves in life, career, or relationships. And let's not forget how effective custom affirmations can be for retraining your mindset. Sometimes, you just need the right words, tailor-made for you, to shift from doubt to belief. If you're serious about nurturing your growth and transforming challenges into stepping stones, these offerings might be the missing piece you've been searching for. As we wrap up, I want to extend a big thank you for tuning into this video. Your time and attention mean the world to me, and I truly believe that by understanding why we lose certain friendships during our leveling up process, we can move forward with less guilt, more clarity, and a whole lot of optimism. If you got value out of this, please don't forget to like this video, it really supports the channel, and leave a comment below with your biggest takeaway. I'm so curious to hear how these insights might be shifting your perspective on personal growth and your social circles. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, because we have more empowering content lined up that you won't want to miss. Thank you again for watching, for sharing your heart in the comments, and for being part of this uplifting community. Remember, the journey of leveling up is ongoing, and it's okay if not everyone can join you on that path. Keep focusing on your growth and watch how the right connections naturally find their way to you. Wishing you endless success and fulfillment, and I can't wait to connect with you in the next video. Until then, take care, stay inspired, and never stop evolving.